In a startup ecosystem, entrepreneurs are constantly looking for ways to serve their customers better. With not knowing what to do, they end up going through this journey alone or with the help of a co-founder. However, this journey can be shortened or made better if experienced mentors can chip in and impart knowledge to these lonely entrepreneurs. CEO Slingshot Technology, Yetunde Johnson, joins us on the show to discuss the importance of mentoring when building a startup.
I'd like to welcome you to Tech Trends.
Thank you.
How important is mentoring to the growth of the ecosystem?
It is very crucial. We're expecting a lot of the solutions to come out of Nigeria. We're expecting them to come through the young people. We're expecting indigenous Nigerians to develop them. We need to give them the right mentoring, the right tools, the right attitude, the right way of thinking. And that can only be done by people who have gone before, who have had the exposure. And you build that into the young people, and then they can fly with all the tools and build all the solutions we need.
You mentioned we'll start early, but how early should we start?
If it was up to me, I would start in primary schools. But right now, at this point in time, we need to take anybody coming out of school, SS3, school leavers, but I would start in primary school, start giving them and equipping them with the right techniques, the right tools, the right education to be able to develop ideas. You know, there's a way of thinking you need to develop a solution, and we need to build that in the young people very early.
Yeah, I hear you, but we don't have a culture of internship here, so how do we deal with that?
I think we need to develop a culture of internship. We need to develop the attitude that the young human resources that are available, that are not necessarily coming out of school fully equipped to be drawn into the employment market, to be drawn into companies, need to undergo internships whereby they develop these skills so that they're useful not only to themselves, but to the companies, the economic community, the local ecosystem.
But why would you advise companies to take up interns when they have to train them?
Because we're the ones that need them to be trained. And we don't want to continually be buying in at a higher rate most times, skills from outside. And if we don't develop the resources we have, what happens to those resources? They're idle. Agitation can happen. It's in our best interest to improve the economic environment here, improve their opportunities, give them the chance to earn.
But don't you think we need a government policy to sort of compel companies to do this?
I would love the government to be involved, but how long can we wait? Do you understand? That's my problem there. I mean, if I was saying the other day that locally in Lagos, if they could find a way of giving companies tax breaks as an incentive to take on an intern. I know it takes a lot of resources. Mentoring is very, very intensive. It does require a lot of commitment, and it does take a lot of time. But the end results are that you get young individuals that anybody can use throughout Nigeria. So if the local government, I'm talking about Lagos because we're in Lagos, if they could develop a system whereby me as a company, for every intern I take on, there's a tax break, I get a tax deduction, then that would be the simplest and quickest way to encourage companies.
How long have you been in tech?
Yes, God. Since I was born, maybe.
So but why did you decide to come up with a system of mentoring young people?
Because I found when I was a CTO for a law firm in Nigeria, one of the top, Alukwano Yibode, I did a lot of interviewing of young people. And they would come to my office and they would come with all their certifications as long as my arm. Even I was scared when I interviewed them that, this guy is going to take over. But when I actually tested them, their real skills, they weren't there. And so I decided that the best way was to grow those skills. So throughout my time there, all this IT staff there came to me and I used to say to them, are you ready to intern with us for nothing? And anyone I saw that spark in, I saw that passion in, I took on board. And I find that when you build skills, appropriate skills that you need, they are invaluable, not just to the person, but to the company.
But do you think it's a sustainable system?
Yes, if the incentives are put in place to encourage it. Each intern, if they show their worth, they end up with a good job. Not only does the person end up with a job, but the company ends up with someone who understands their company culture, adds value through the job he does for them, and may be sustainable for a long time. Why not?
While startups focus on growth and profitability, there is also a need to protect the intellectual property assets owned by the entity.
Part of the mentoring, part of the building of skill sets is understanding how businesses view these things. You know, you're a business person. An idea that's not copyrighted, an idea that's not protected, is free for all. But a young person with all the enthusiasm, they come there, they're showing people, because they've not been in a system that has formalized all these kinds of things. Like when you talk to someone, follow it up with an email, or when you have an idea, create a patent, create a trademark, create a copyright. That lack of knowledge is what is killing a lot of our young people or exposing them. So I think mentorship with the right people will help them. Why am I saying that? When you're in a formal environment, you learn about the legal aspects of things. You get exposed to so many processes, procedures and things that help you when you step out of that company to start your own thing, to put those things in place. When I left where I was working, there were so many things I learned there. And instantly, when I started my small business, I could put those things in place to protect myself and to make sure things went smoothly.
Can this ecosystem survive on the long run without the proper intellectual property foundation?
It might grow, but there will be probably a lot of mishaps along the way. And those mishaps will be the flavor of what is to come, in the sense that, you know, when you taste something bitter, it puts you off. We don't want to create an environment where a lot of our young people are running away. They would rather develop in India or in UK or US, rather than develop here, be recognized as a Nigerian product and be promoted here and grow here. There are a lot of people who are looking inward to Nigeria because there is a lot of potential here. But we don't want our young people from bad experiences with ideas being stolen to run away. So it's a good time for them to be educated on intellectual property, and that's where the tech world and the legal world need to start talking.
Yeah, but it's interesting, but a lawyer who doesn't understand how the app and the ecosystem functions, how would the lawyer help protect the startup?
That's where the meeting of minds is. A lawyer understands intellectual property. A lawyer understands what it is to create a trademark and what are the components to creating a trademark. So if they're sitting down with a technologist to try and understand what a technologist does, what is an app? What part of the app is able to be trademarked or is able to attract an intellectual property? It is when the two sides start to talk that we will be able to find the best solutions for people building apps in Nigeria. We can't just say it's a patent, we can't just say it's a trademark, we can't just say it's a copyright. The two of them need to talk so that we find the best fit for people developing apps here. And if we don't talk, we don't protect them in any way it's worth.
Finally, are you happy with the number of female tech startups in the ecosystem today?
That's a definite no now. There's a definite no. Women are bright, they are brilliant, and I would love to see a lot more. And I was at an event last week. They said that if you're not sitting at the table where we're developing and discussing all this, then we're on the menu. I don't want women to be on the menu. I really don't. Oreoluwa said that, and I don't want us to be on the menu. We have a lot to partner with males in this ecosystem, but more often than not, I don't see them at the table, and it's not good. We do need to join the table. We do need to join the development, the discussions, and a lot of the solutions we need in Nigeria are very relevant to women, 50% of women.
I want to thank you for being on Tech Trends today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's all we have for you on this edition of the show. Let's continue the conversation online, so do follow us on social media. You can watch these and other editions of the show on the channel's TV YouTube account or via my blog, techsmart.ng. For Tech Trends, I am Chukwuemeka Agbata.